friends, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather. Today we're going to talk about some 5-star predictions that I have. Before we jump into all of that, please subscribe if you haven't, and my Goodreads and Instagram are down below so we can chat everywhere. Let's chat books for sure. Now, today I have quite a list of 5-star predictions. I'm not great at narrowing this down at all. So it's not 5 or 10, I have 14. So here's my thoughts behind this. I have 2 books in each genre category that I read. And so I've got 7 different categories with 2 books each that are 5-star predictions. Hopefully, maybe I know my actual reading taste. I feel like I probably don't, but just going off of, I feel like a lot of people's 5-star prediction lists, they don't end up with books that they actually find 5 stars, but maybe I'll have better luck. I don't know. So yeah, let's just start before I ramble too far. Okay, so starting, I will just let you know the 7 different genres that I've broken this down into. We have fantasy, we have sci-fi, historical fiction, romance, contemporary, horror, and mystery thriller. That's it, 7. So we're gonna go ahead and start with fantasy. And so for these 2, I have Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, and this is kind of a continuation from a companion, I guess, from The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I adored and is one of my favorite books. And this one we're following Wallace, and he is basically at his funeral, and the Reaper comes to collect him, and he brings him to this small town way out in Timbuktu to this guy's tea parlor, and his name's Hugo, and Hugo kind of is supposed to help him kind of ferry into the afterlife, but Wallace is like, no, I'm not ready, I didn't do enough in my life. He's trying to basically reflect back on some of the things that he missed out on, and Hugo kind of helps him on this journey, and they have 7 days to have him live out some of the things that he didn't get to do before he needs to go. And then I also really want to get to Stephanie Garber's new book. She is the one who wrote the Caraval series, which I loved and adored. And so she has a new one out, Once Upon a Broken Heart. So in this one, we're following Evangeline, and she grew up in her father's curiosity shop, and she grew up learning about legends that are these immortal beings, including the Prince of Hearts. So when the man that she is in love with ends up being betrothed to get married to someone else, she calls upon the Prince of Hearts to help her. And all he asks for from her is 3 kisses. But after the first one, she realizes that really he's asking for so much more. Let's wait for the train to go by for a sec. So it's still rumbling a little in the background, but I think it'll be fine. So we're going to move into my 2 sci-fi books that I'm thinking, and that includes Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I haven't read anything by Sanderson yet, but everybody says that he has great writing, great world building, great characters. They just love his books, and I am really curious to get into this one. We're following this girl and space stuff, and I think she's going to be a pilot. I don't know, and there's no synopsis in this book, but I know that everyone that's talked about it has really enjoyed it, and the concept sounds interesting, and I'm just really curious about the space elements and everything and this author. So I feel like it's going to be a 5-star. And then also Andy Weir's new book, Project Hail Mary. Everybody and their mother has been loving this one so much, and I really have wanted to get into an Andy Weir book, but I haven't yet. But I'm definitely down for some good science-y space stuff. I think that's my favorite part of sci-fi, is I really like stuff that's set in space quite a bit, and so I'm curious as to how this goes. I have seen the movie The Martian and thought about reading that book by him, but I was like, I don't know, since I've seen the movie, do I want to go back and read the book? And so I'm excited to get into this new one and see how I like his writing and his storytelling and everything, and so that one I'm thinking is going to be a 5-star. So let's go ahead and move into my 2 contemporary books. The first one is Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. This one's not out until February, so we've got a little ways, but I'm giving myself a year to read these, and it's 14 books, so that's totally fine. I've really enjoyed the Nina LaCour books I've read so far, and I think this one's going to be great. We are following 2 girls. Sarah, she ran away when she was 16 years old, and now years later she lives in Los Angeles as a sought-after bartender. And then we have Emily, and she's been going to school for 7 years, and she's just kind of stuck. and she takes a job at this restaurant called Yerba Buena, and the two of them like catch eyes and see each other and kind of get entangled into a romance, but they each have their own kind of secrets and pasts, I think, that kind of could be pulling each other apart. So yeah. And then the other contemporary I'm hoping to be reading here in the next couple weeks is The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. And this one we're following these two young men. One of them, he touches things and like sees their future, and one day he like touches this picture and sees his younger brother's like imminent demise, and he is really shook by this, obviously, and so they are trying to deal with how to deal with that. And I just know that it's kind of about the two brothers and their journey, and about being like a young Black man in America, and yeah, something like that. I don't know. Loved Slay by Brittany Morris, so she will put everything into words so much more than I can ever do, and I will hopefully be talking about that one really soon. Okay, so now we're going to move into historical fiction. I've got a couple here that I think are going to be keepers. So we have Last Night at the Telegraph Club, and this is by Melinda Lowe. I am excited about this one. It's set in 1954 in San Francisco. We're following these two girls, Lily and Kath, and they walk into this club. It's a lesbian bar, and maybe not the safest place to be right now in 1954 in the middle of San Fran. We also have the Red Scare going on, and Lily's worried about her father being deported, even though he's gained citizenship. But with the Red Scare going on, that could be a reality for them. So we're basically following Lily and Kath's kind of romance and their lives and journeys as they're kind of going through this scary time. My other book that I'm thinking is going to be a 5-star is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I know a lot of people have read this one. It's a few years old now. My mom actually read this one, and it's not really something that she usually would read, but she said she really enjoyed it. So I'm curious as to if I'm going to like this one. I really think I am going to. But we're following this marsh girl. Her name is Kaya, and she basically has lived in the marsh her whole life, and I know there's like kind of a coming of age story with her, as I think she's kind of an outsider to town, but she's always been kind of used to that. And then there's some kind of like other mystery woven into the story or something. So yeah, I'm definitely curious. It is set in 1969 in North Carolina. So now moving into horror, I have a couple here. I have White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. And this one, it says, is The Haunting of Hill House, which I loved, meets Get Out, which I kind of liked, but at the same time, like, I'm still like a little not sure how I feel about it. But anyways, I'm excited to see how this goes together. I really like Tiffany D. Jackson's writing, so I'm curious how she's going to pull this one off. We're following Marigold, and basically her and her family have to move from their small California beach town to a Midwestern city, and their mom has this new job there basically, and it comes with a house that they can stay in for free, and it's like this really cute little house, but it's also surrounded by all these dilapidated houses, and then things start going weird in the house. It says household items vanish, doors open on their own, lights turn off, shadows walk past rooms, voices can be heard in the walls, and there's a foul smell seeping through the vents that only Mari seems to notice. So, yeah, definitely some creepy haunted house type vibes that I'm totally down for. And gosh, sounds so great for spooky season. Okay, and then my other horror option that I'm really thinking I'm going to enjoy is a Grady Hendrix book, My Best Friend's Exorcism. And this one just, like, literally is about this girl and her best friend, and she becomes possessed, and they're trying to do an exorcism. Pretty sure. I actually have never read the synopsis for this, but I just feel like it's in the name, no? I don't know. I love Grady Hendrix works, and I'm wanting to keep working through some of his backlists that I haven't gotten to. Okay, 2 more categories. We have the mystery thriller category. For this one, I've got this mystery, Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. Whoa. we are actually following a couple different timelines in here. One is in 1982 when Viv gets the job at the Sundown Motel, and she ends up going missing after kind of getting a bunch of haunted, creepy feelings. And then we're jumping to 2017, where Carly, her niece, has always been like floored as to what happened to her Aunt Viv and how she disappeared, and so she decides to go visit the Sundown Motel, and maybe things haven't changed very much. And then my other thriller that I have here is Ace of Spades by Farida Abik. I'm not going to try the last name, I'm sorry. I'll make sure it's up here for you guys. This one is set at a high school, and basically these two kids, they start getting text from aces and basically telling all of these secrets, and I think they're just telling it to like everybody. So yeah, they're just telling all these dark secrets about these two kids that are at the school, and I think they're like the only two black kids or something, because it says it's about institutionalized racism. So yeah, we're following basically these two black kids that are at this completely white boarding school, and Aces is texting everybody all their dark secrets and targeting them, and just, yeah, some kind of fun thriller. I don't know. It's been going around like crazy on BookTube. It sounds awesome, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. So that's another 5-star prediction for me. And then my last two are a couple of romances here. So I put the Bromance Book Club by Lyssa K. Adams on here. Everybody's been really enjoying this one. I'm a little late to the game, I feel like, on this one. It's been out for a couple years, and there's even like some sequels out that are companions to it. But basically, we're following this husband whose wife, she wants to get a divorce, and basically she also says that she's like never had an orgasm with him, and so he starts reading some like adult romance smutty books to try and figure out how to help her, you know, romance her and help her in the bedroom, and try to win her back so that they don't have to get divorced. And he reads all these romance books with these other guys in this romance or bromance book club. So I've heard it's really cute and funny and just really good. A lot of people have really been enjoying it. I think I'm going to too. So my other romance book is Shipped by Angie Hockman, and in this one, I feel like I'm just getting like on honeymooner vibes, and I think that's why this one really calls to me. But yeah, like even the cover, I'm just like, yes, let's have some sunshine fun. This one, we are following Henley and May. I don't know how to say that name. We'll say G. And the two of them both work for this company, and they're both on the short list to get a promotion. Kind of hating game vibes a little bit here too. Both some of my favorite romances, so hopefully this one will be a 5-star. But basically, the two of them are up for this promotion, and they're having like some email wars against each other, and their boss says, I want both of you to do a proposal to boost ratings for us to sell people to go to the Galapagos. And part of that also is that you guys are going to take a trip together to the Galapagos Islands as well. And so they end up having to go on, I think it's a cruise, together, and maybe their ideas of each other changes, and a little hate to love kind of romance ensues, as well as they're kind of getting entwined with this promotion and such. So I don't know. I'm very intrigued and curious about this one, and I think it's going to be really fun. So that is all 14 books of my 5-star predictions that I'm thinking. I'm going to try to read all of these within the next year, and then we'll come back and see how well I did. And I'm really hoping I do okay, because wow, that would be awesome if these were all 5 stars. I'd be like, yes, I found all kinds of good books. Anyways, if you guys made it this far, give me like some tropical beach vibes down below and a little emoji something. And I will talk to you guys really soon.